everybody. We're back again to talk a little
The last week of the regular season of the NFL.
NFL football. Man, we just finished week 17 and the playoffs are set.
Playoffs are set.
But before we do that, we want to recap week 17, what all happened in week 17, and then we'll do our predictions for Wildcard weekend. Probably maybe one of the most exciting weekends in football is the Wildcard weekend. But just a little recap. Week 17, everything was on Sunday. It was
no Saturday games.
Non-stop Sunday football.
There was more 4:00 games. In our time zone, we have 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so there were more 4 o'clock games than there was 1 o'clock games. There was a lot of football going on. But the first game on the slate was your Panthers at the Saints.
A win to finish the year.
You'll take it. Take it any way you can get it.
I'll take it. Although it may hurt our draft positioning at this point.
Probably not that much, though.
We still have a losing record and still a lot of things to fix.
Hopefully you won't have the injuries this year that you had.
Christian McCaffrey had already set the record.
Now Christian McCaffrey is real. He's for real.
For receptions by a running back.
He's
Congratulations.
Something. Yes. Game number 2. We had my Cowboys at the Giants.
The Cowboys clinched their 10th win of the season.
Yeah, that already clinched the division, so the game didn't mean that much, except for they wanted to get the flow. They wanted to get Dak rhythm.
Especially with what happened at the end of the game, I think will carry on in the playoffs at home.
Yeah, the Giants tried their best to beat the Cowboys, and the Giants looked good. But the Cowboys just pulled it out there at the end and went for the 2-point conversion, got that 2-point conversion, and 36-35 was the end of that one.
It was a
fun game.
To think about it, they started off 3-5, and now they are 10-6.
Yeah, they finished 7-1. That's pretty strong.
Second half turnaround, may I say?
Second half turnaround.
But hey, the Giants 5-11. Losing record is what you expected. You did not expect a playoff season.
No.
But if you hit the nail on the head with these next 2 drafts, we could be talking about some good Giants football.
Yeah, the Giants GM said he's committed to keep OBJ, Saquon. He's a little iffy on Eli, though. I think he needs to hang on to Eli until they get a quarterback in the system.
I feel like the problem is the offensive line being awful.
Yes, maybe they need to get an offensive line. It'd be a whole lot easier.
It's a bunch of turnstiles.
It's a turnstile, yeah, and easy turnstile. They just ran right through them, and Eli didn't have any time whatsoever. Eli is getting on in his years, but still, though, I mean, you have to have at least 3 seconds to throw the football. So
yeah, at least 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
Yeah. And after that, we had the Jaguars at the Texans. The Texans needed to win it to hold on to the division, and they
did
beat
just
them.
that.
They beat them pretty easy, 20-3.
The Jaguars, once again, a heavy disappointment this year.
Oh, yeah, they went from
a AFC championship team
to
a draft pick team.
To a high draft pick team.
Come on.
We had the Chargers at the Broncos. The Chargers needed to try to win this too to get some momentum going, and they did, 23-9.
I think their defense scored more than their offense did, though.
Yeah, I'm sort of worried about the Chargers' offense the last few weeks. It's been
wishy-washy ever since that Ravens game. I think they rattled them a little bit.
But they get Gordon back.
They do get Gordon back.
They get their running back this week, so you better watch out when they get the all team back together. They might get healthy at the right time, and then it might be too late. You know, sometimes you just don't get that gel. You know, he's missed a few weeks, but we'll see. We had the Raiders at the Chiefs. The Chiefs needed to win it to try to hang on to the division too.
And clinch the number 1 seed.
Which they did 35-3 over the Raiders pretty easily.
Although I do think that their defense is really bad, especially the corners.
Yeah, they're going to have some problems in the playoffs. They're going to have to outscore people. They're just going to have to score 35 points. That's just.
I think they'll have to outscore. They'll have to score in bunches if they want to have.
If they want to go to the Super Bowl, they're going to have to outscore people because their defense just really isn't that good. No.
So that's the big issue with the team, but special teams and offense is pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, we had the Bears at the Vikings. This game meant nothing except for the Bears just wanted to crush the Vikings and knock them out of the playoffs.
And that's what they did.
The Vikings needed it. If the Vikings won, they were in the playoffs.
All they needed was one single win.
And the Bears just said, no, I don't want to play you again next week. If the Vikings would have won, then the Vikings would have played the Bears again next week. It would have been back-to-back games with the same team, but the Bears just like, nah, we'll just go ahead and win, get it over with. Just go ahead and put you out of the... So the Vikings were a disappointment this year, too. They went from
that was a
NFC contender
to miss the playoffs.
To miss the playoffs completely, yeah.
Add yet another chapter to the Vikings' legacy of failure.
Yeah. We had the Bengals at the Steelers.
The Steelers knew they had to win this game to have hope in the playoff race.
Yeah. They barely did. AB didn't play, Antonio Brown.
There was a lot of drama in the Steelers.
There's a lot of drama. They said he had a knee injury. There was some drama going on. Maybe him and Ben got into a little bit of rift with each other. I don't really know. But
it's kind of wrecked the team as of late.
But the Steelers did win that game, so 16-13, which led into the next game. The Browns needed to beat the Ravens
in order to
knock the Ravens out of the playoffs and put the Steelers in.
And the Ravens' defense was too much.
It was just too much. It was 26-24. The Browns were driving to kick a field goal, and they picked off Mayfield, and the game ended with a Ravens 24-26 win.
That defense is scary, especially come playoff time.
So now the Steelers are
out of the playoffs.
And I actually predicted this about 3 weeks ago that this was going to happen. So it's sad, but Steelers are out of the playoffs. I don't, man, the Steelers game
between the Raiders. I think that loss against the Raiders is what killed them.
That's the loss against the Raiders that killed. I think the game that killed them was the Carolina game. Killed both teams. Both teams never looked good after that. I don't know what happened to them.
So, but Cleveland's got a quarterback.
Cleveland is for real. Next year, Cleveland will be in the playoffs. There is no doubt. They will be in the playoffs.
Baker Mayfield just broke the rookie touchdown record for a quarterback with 27.
Held by
Peyton Manning.
And Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
I think Russell Wilson and Peyton Manning had the tied for the rookie touchdown record
until
Mayfield.
17.
Until Mayfield. We had the Colts at the Titans. Win and you go in.
But unfortunately for the Titans, they had one weak link in the offense.
Marcus Mariota didn't play. He was injured, so they brought in Blaine Gabbert, and Blaine just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. So, and the Colts, I think, have the best offensive line in football right now.
I mean, look how if you saw that
Andrew
game,
Luck's got all day to stand back there. He could stand back there and, I mean, he could invite friends over and. You know, and
have a cook-off, have some friends over.
Have some friends over, right there in the backfield while the offensive line blocked for him. It's crazy. But the Colts are in the playoffs.
I think they're a dark horse candidate.
Started what?
1-5.
Only the third team in the history of the NFL to start 1-5 and make the playoffs.
I credit that to coaching and Frank Reich.
Frank Reich is doing an immaculate. He might be coach of the year for doing what he's done. I mean, really.
I mean, especially when you look at his pedigree, he's a Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles.
They only won 3 or 4 games last year, and they come into this year with Andrew Luck and played in over a year, and they start out 1-5, and then now you got them in the playoffs. Dude, that's some coaching.
That's some great coaching.
That's some great coaching.
Frank Reich, I can't wait to see what your team does in the postseason.
And speaking of old Frank Reich teams, Dolphins at the Bills didn't mean a whole lot, but the Bills, Rosen actually looked pretty good there. I mean, he threw for.
I think you're talking about the wrong quarterback.
Oh yeah, Allen. Who was it? Yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah, Rosen's for Arizona, isn't he?
Yeah, so you named the wrong Josh.
Rookie quarterbacks. We had the Lions at the Packers again. It didn't mean anything. The Lions won 31-0.
The Lions, coming into the offseason, going into the offseason now, they just fired Jim Bob and sent him to the gone fishing line.
I think that they came to a mutual decision to part ways. So Jim Bob Cooter is no longer the offensive coordinator. I don't know.
I feel like, do you think that was the right direction to go?
I don't know what the problem is, to be honest. There, every year you think they're going to do something, and they never do.
Well, that's the Detroit Lions.
Ever since they had Barry Sanders, they had Megatron, they had
All this talent.
they had, and
Nothing. That's basically Detroit.
I think it's head coaching. To be honest, I think you need to get a head coach in there. Maybe who's the head coach now?
This is just Matt Patricia's first season. So,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he'll turn it around. I don't think you need to change offensive coordinators every year, though. You're not going to be successful doing that, changing that every single. I don't know.
Unless you get a steal.
You'll just have to wait and see what to do. We had the Jets at the Patriots. Patriots won at 138-3. That was a gimme.
Yeah, just gift wrapped. Hello, Patriots. Here's a win. Can't wait to see you another Sunday.
Yeah, we had the Falcons at the Bucks. The game didn't mean anything, but 34-32. Falcons won at the end.
So, the Falcons, disappointing season for Atlanta. High expectations once again. Steve Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator, I've criticized on many times that I've watched Atlanta.
And they fired him.
He's gone.
They fired offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and special teams coordinator. They fired all three of them. Just clean house there. But hey, you never
As
know.
a division rival, it just makes me a little happy for some reason.
We had the Eagles at the Redskins. Since the Chicago beat the Vikings, if the Eagles won, they're in.
And they did
and
that.
And they did. The Eagles are back in the Nick Foles.
Carried them once
continues his. Now the Eagles are in trouble in the future.
Who's going to be their quarterback?
Who would you if you were who would you put in as the starting quarterback if Wentz comes back healthy now?
If Wentz comes back and is bad, then people are probably gonna scream at Doug Peterson to.
What if he has
a
bad quarter? People are going to be off with his head. I don't know.
They're probably going to make a Nick Foles statue outside of Philly Stadium.
The Eagles are a little scary right now, though. They gotten Foles in, and they're clicking for some reason. I don't know. We had the 49ers at the Rams. The Rams needed to win it to keep the number 2 seed, and they did. 48-32.
First round bye.
And
at least Jared Goff got his turnover problem fixed for now.
Yeah, and then we had the Cardinals at the Seahawks. Seahawks really didn't mean a whole lot to them. They already had their
they did keep
set.
the number 5 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, they won 27-24 over the Cardinals. And that was all of Week 17. Now we have 4 games left. The wild card weekend.
Those 4 games mean a lot.
First of all, just to recap, number 1 and number 2 seed in the NFC, Saints,
and the Rams.
And the Rams are the number 1 and the number 2 in the NFC. So those get buys. They don't play this weekend.
But they play the next weekend after this one.
And so the AFC, the number 1s are Kansas City.
And the Patriots.
And the Patriots are number 2. So those teams don't play this weekend. They get the buys. They'll play next weekend. So we have the matchups. We have the number 5 seed Seahawks.
Facing the number 4 seed Cowboys.
At the Cowboys. Dallas is favored. Man, these are some close games. Dallas is favored by 1.5 points.
Dallas has struggled in the playoffs as of recently.
I'm still going to pick my Cowboys. Just because they're my Cowboys, I'm going to pick my Cowboys. I'm going to pick Cowboys.
How about them boys?
How about them Cowboys? Now, whenever they get to the next round...
That'll be a little bit of a hard pick.
That'll be a little bit of a hard pick.
So you say the Cowboys go to the divisional round?
Yeah, I think the Cowboys go. Okay.
All right.
I actually went to the 8 o'clock game first, but the 4 o'clock game Saturday. These are both Saturday games. Saturday at 4:35, Colts at the Texans. Houston's favored by 1.5 points.
At Houston.
At Houston. I'm going to pick the Colts.
Pick the Colts. I had the same pick as you were. I had this suspicion that with how well their offensive line has been playing and Andrew Luck reverting to his old form that everyone loves to watch.
The Colts are 9-1 in their last 10.
And they have a hot offense led by a experienced Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator.
Texans have got some injuries going on. Their only wide receiver is Hopkins. That's it. Of course, he caught 115 balls and had 0 drops this year.
Yeah, no drops.
Is that insane? 115 catches, 0 drops. The boy does not drop the ball. If you get it here somewhere, He's going to catch him. Between
Does
his legs,
this guy
juggling
have
behind his
glue
back.
stuck to his hands?
I don't know. But I just don't. I think they're having some struggles right now. So I'm going to go Colts.
And tell the viewers a stat about the Texans' defense and how their pass defense is ranked.
Their pass defense is, what did I say, 31?
That's pretty bad.
And you're coming up against the
Andrew Luck.
And maybe the best offensive line in the NFL right now.
You're going to get shredded.
I think it's going to be a tough one, yeah.
So I'd say the Colts win, and they will move on into the divisional round.
All right, now here's a tough one. The 105 game on Sunday morning, Chargers at the Ravens. Excuse me, Ravens are favored by 2.5.
Well, they're at Baltimore, so you have to keep that into account.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Very good pick. Very good pick.
I think their defense just may be. Phillip Rivers has been throwing a lot of interceptions lately.
Well, they've been making mistakes as a team
A
on offense.
lot of mistakes. The Chargers' offensive line did not hold up very well against the Ravens
In their last meeting.
I mean, they went. That's why Phillip Rivers couldn't throw anything, because he was on the ground.
He was harassed.
He was harassed by them. So we got Baltimore minus 2.5. We're going to go ahead and take Baltimore there.
A defense and a running game takes you a long way.
Yeah, the quarterback's young.
But if they can make tweaks
Now,
with him and
Ever since they've brought in
Lamar Jackson,
they
look rejuvenated.
look rejuvenated. But how many teams have faced him twice?
Nobody.
Nobody, except for
The Chargers.
this weekend. So the Chargers are taking their second swipe at studying him and learning how to stop him. That could be something.
Yeah.
It could be something, but I'm still going to take the Ravens just because of their defense. It's hard to go against the
And
the
they're
number
at
one
home.
defense, and they're at home. All right, the 4:00 game on Sunday is the Eagles at the Bears.
So the defending champions from last year playing the Chicago Bears.
The Bears are actually favored by 6.
6?
Seems high to me.
That's.
Does that not seem high to you?
I mean, they got Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback for Chicago.
I mean, they've got a great
the Eagles
They've got a great defense too. I mean, the Bears have a great defense.
They have a fantastic defense.
That's what's kept them going too. But I'm gonna have to say some Eagles.
That's what. Yeah,
I mean,
Nick Foles.
give me the Eagles plus 6.
Yeah, that's something we were not
I
really wanting to say.
I was not expecting that. I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. But you give me the Eagles plus 6? Come on now.
How about those Philly cheesesteak Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, you just about have to take that.
I mean, Nick Foles has proven himself.
I
He
mean,
won a Super Bowl against Tom Brady.
I mean, the Eagles have in the last 4 games, the Eagles have beat the Texans and the Rams and the Redskins. I mean, they beat the Texans and the Rams in the last 4 games.
Yeah, that's a hot team.
So if you can go into the Rams and beat them by 7, but you go to Chicago and you're
Projected to
lose by 6?
That just makes no sense. I know Chicago's a really solid group of
It is
players.
a good, solid team, and it wouldn't surprise me if Chicago won, but I'm thinking 3-4 maybe, not 6. So we'll go ahead and take that. Now, what this means, if we're correct, is let's say the Eagles beat the Bears. Let's just say straight up beat the Bears.
So they go to the divisional round.
The Eagles would be the lowest seed going to the highest seed. It would be the Eagles at the Saints.
And
now,
that
would be a good game in New Orleans, wouldn't it? Last year's Super Bowl champs against this year's favorite Super Bowl champs. That would be some good football.
Favorite Super Bowl champs. Let's not say it yet because it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened yet. And if the Cowboys beat the Seahawks, that means the Cowboys go to the Rams. That would be a good game too, man. That would be some really good football to watch. Okay, now let's go to the other one. Let's say
AFC time.
the Texans lose to the Colts. Let's say the Colts do win. The Colts would be the lowest seed. The Colts would go to the
Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. Who wouldn't want to see the
Mahomes and
Luck fight it out? Some young quarterbacks there. That would be excellent. And then you would have the Ravens winning over the Chargers, going to the Patriots. Ooh, who wouldn't want to see that defense go against Tom Brady? Come on, man. That would be some good football. Now we could be wrong, whereas the playoffs are so hard to guess. And again, I'm picking my Cowboys just because I like my Cowboys, but
I guess you shouldn't underlook Pete Carroll's job at Seattle either.
no, he's done an excellent job. This was supposed to be a rebuilding year for them, and
they're 10-6.
And they're 10-6, so you can't say nothing about those. But the Cowboys are 10-6 too. Second, they are 7-1 in their last 8.
They're coming off a high.
Just like the Colts are 9-1 in their last 10. They're coming off of a supreme high. They set Ezekiel Elliott to let him rest and still scored 36 points.
But they were facing the rebuilding Giants.
Mm-hmm. But still, though, it was some good football.
Yeah.
It was some good football. Well, that's it. That's it for NFL this week. It's a little bit shorter. But hey.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Be sure and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave us some comments down below what you think in the playoffs coming up. Hit the groovy baby button over here somewhere.
Baby button.
Other than that, we are out, and we'll see you next week with some more football.
See you next week.